dream. A nightmare from which I know there's no awakening. I don't know how much longer I can take the spectacle. Has the whole world gone mad?
Now, I must emphasize that we've been unable to develop a cure to combat this disorder, and that we can offer only the following preventative measures.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Boogeyman Radio. I am David.
I'm Charlie. I guess Dave's name just disappeared.
My name is John. I couldn't think of a clever name today.
That's weird. That sucks. I don't know how you could hear me. So my mic was muted. It even said muted.
Yeah, I kept hearing you clearing your throat and stuff.
Well, that's well, after the choke yesterday, I'm not surprised I have to as well.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's another day. It's a new season here in 6 months?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm gonna fix my name. Hang on a second.
You just can't help it. We discovered a new feature today. So instead of having to go all the way through settings to change our name, we could actually just go to the video over here on the left side of our screen where it shows our two cameras, right? There's our names. If we click on that, we can change our name. Wow. So simple, so majestic and modern.
I know, right?
And modern. That's what I meant to say.
Who would have thought?
Wow. Just amazing. So thanks for being here with us. Yeah. Hope you're all having a great day.
Yes.
It's a great Monday. Wonderful.
And I'm not in the studio tonight. I'm actually inside. It's getting a little cold
inside
in the studio.
So I thought he had a green screen filter and it was just black. No, that's just apparently the curtain behind him. Couldn't tell.
Yeah. Once you go black.
I'm not gonna finish that. Shade, good to see you. Susan, good to see you. Josh, good to see you. I'm glad I can finally see the chats this time. I couldn't see the chats last time.
Maybe it's because of an update. I don't know.
Maybe there was little bugs in the system.
A little confusion.
It is what it is.
Yeah. This is part 3 of the Jack the Ripper series here. This is our first 3-part series, guys. And it's coming to an end. But I know. Gasp, you should. Excuse me while I whip this out.
Such a great part of the movie. So good.
As you can tell by my voice, it's better.
Ish.
Maybe?
Yeah, ish.
Sinus infection all the way from last week, still around.
A
lot of talkings. I guess my voice is a little hoarse. So
it's a long infection.
But it is getting better. It
Good.
is a lot better right now.
Good. And you don't typically take medications.
Yeah, I don't. But I do. I have been taking a few things lately. I keep wanting to call it Centrum Silver. It's my 1-a-day vitamins.
Oh, good. That's a must. You should take vitamins every day.
300% vitamin C in it. So
yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But I also still have some antibiotics from when I had my teeth pulled.
Nice.
So
that definitely helps. Yeah. So yeah, you took some medication, but it's fine. You didn't take the normal cold and flu. Like even when people have infections, they typically take some sort of cold and flu stuff.
Like Mucinex or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it just makes total sense, honestly.
Yeah, Susan, I'm glad it's starting to come around myself. It's been keeping me from wanting to do anything. Like I've been so tired because I can't sleep because I have to sleep with my mouth open and dries out my mouth, and I wake up like
it's the worst. Trust me.
Feel like a zombie. And then
someone who snores quite loudly, I completely understand.
Yeah. So like just sleeping has been a pain, and having to work on top of that. I just had no motivation to do nothing. But the other night, jumped on, got a lot done. Still more to go on the new video. But yeah. Did you get a chance to check out the tip video?
Can't say I have. I know it's like 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes and 16 seconds, I think.
Not even that.
Oh, okay.
But,
I did actually know what? No, I did catch like 10, 15 seconds of it. I did like the vibe that it put off. Like whatever the 10, 15 seconds I watched, you were like standing out kind of in a field, or you were standing out. It's hard to, not in a field.
I was in the snow.
Yes, that's what it was. Yep. You standing in the snow. You know what? It kind of gave me vibes up.
Hang on. God, what's that movie?
No, it's not a movie. It's a clip that
Oh.
you've shown me before.
Oh.
It was the vibes of you having to run really far away.
Oh, the runs, a run in the woods.
Yeah, it was giving me that vibe. It was funny. Just
I want to
to
share the video though on here.
do it.
Just because it's my first one on the channel.
He's so proud of it.
I like the fact that I think it was a good tip.
Yes.
I think it was a great tip. So I just want to share that for anybody that's into the paranormal. I'm going to share a video with you guys. It's a ghost hunting tip. And
Just 2 minutes. Hang with us.
yes. Okay, it's on there.
Education.
And I had to put this on there because I've been watching a lot of debunkers lately, so wording is key.
Hey guys, if you're like me, you don't like to investigate during the winter. You probably take this time to recharge your batteries and get your affairs in order and relax. Well, you also probably get the itch every now and then to go investigate, but you don't want to break the bank. So I've devised a way where you can get everything all rolled into one. By booking a room at a haunted hotel or bed and breakfast, as a paid guest, you can actually walk the halls and the lobby and do a little bit of investigating. You also have the chance to investigate your room. And if the place isn't too busy, you might actually get the chance to investigate other rooms per request.
What?
Not only does this save you money by not paying $500 a night to investigate for 3 hours, but you get to just pay for your hotel room, your travel there, and then when it's all said and done, you get to go to bed right there. So you never stop investigating. And then in the morning, you get to enjoy that continental breakfast and enjoy the amenities. So if you're looking for a way to wind down yet still investigate, check out a hotel or haunted bed and breakfast. Those places are gems in the winter. They'll keep you comfortable and maybe you'll find some spirits. Guys, if you like this video, if you like getting paranormal tips and investigation tips,
I miss the Crescent Hotel.
So one thing I didn't throw in there, and I kick myself for not throwing it in there. Yes. I fucking forgot what I was going to say now.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
I couldn't do his wow. And I
Wow.
just can't do it all. Yeah,
Wow.
no.
Wowzers. Fuck, I
Just
don't remember.
stop. Just stop. God. Anyways, so what'd you forget?
I don't remember that now. That was in the past.
Alrighty then.
There was something really important that I was going to put in there, and I cannot for the life of me.
You're gonna
remember
keep
what
kicking
it-
yourself
Oh,
now.
I remember what it was.
All right.
One aspect of the whole hotel thing is like your rates are cheaper in the winter, so you're not
Oh,
spending
so
as
true.
much.
Well,
So-
it depends on the winter because I know the Crescent Hotel does their paranormal stuff in February, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, something like that. February, January.
So look ahead. Make sure that there's like, make sure there's no, like, I would say, obviously don't go on event weekends.
Don't do it.
Clearly, do not go on event weekends. I mean, well, if you want to go to the event, go on event weekends. But if you're just going to go and investigate and enjoy the hotel, probably shouldn't go on event weekends.
I'm still
Just saying.
planning on going out to the Crescent sometime here really soon. I got to do it before the end of this month.
Yeah.
Before the rates go up.
Yeah.
But I want to do a live stream from there. I
That'd
think
be
that'll be fun.
That would be sick.
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah.
I figured you'd love the Crescent B-roll in that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love that. I know exactly what video that's from. It's so comforting. I miss the Crescent a lot. Like a lot. But so now that you got that out of the way, let me back things up just a little bit.
Got that ass
right?
up. What?
I mean, no. Friday. So Friday, I was invited out to check out the location of this year's
Yes.
Paracon.
Good.
Oh, and I'm not talking about not Harris, but it's Paracon KC. Our friend Jason Koopsik who's
Yes.
putting it on with other people as well. I was fortunate enough to go visit this location.
I'm glad you were bringing it up because I forgot I was gonna get his ad so we can promote it here. But
So,
go ahead.
Date's already been announced, right? It's let's see
August
here.
2nd.
August 2nd. This year. It's a great weekend to go.
It's cheap.
It's
$10.
cheap. $10 to get in. And here's the other thing, though. I will say, this place has stairs.
Yes.
Quite a bit of stairs.
Yes.
They are trying to figure out ways to be accommodating for those that I'll say handicapped or
Have
struggle.
disabilities.
Yes. Thank you. I believe that there's possibly 2 other locations right next door that they'll put, like, maybe, I don't know if vendors will be there, but they'll put a TV where people can go and watch the presentations, the presenters.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. But I am super, super excited. This place was amazing. We walk in, you just walk in the front door and it's a marble staircase.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. The entire staircase was marble, and then the walls going up the staircase was marble.
Nice.
Dude, it was awesome. We get on the, so it's technically the second floor of the structure is where it's at. You get on the second floor, but let's say first floor of the lodge. First floor of the lodge, you have the lodge itself. Awesome. So much symbolism all over the place.
Well, some Masonics.
There is a room next door. Certain room linked to a certain organization back in the day. Starts with a T. Knights.
Templar. So it starts with a K.
Templar? No, just Templar, not Knights of the Templar.
The Temple of the Templars.
The Temple of the Templars. But it was, dude, it was awesome. So going in there, seeing there was also just some old books too. From what I was told, this place was built, I think, in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
The last full session this place has seen was back in the 1970s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. But other groups have come in from time to time, smaller groups, and have done some, I think, initiation stuff.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying.
Ritualistic killings.
Well, so but I am, again, I'm just super stoked. Where obviously the presentation room, which is the main temple room. What?
You were cutting out there for a second.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear a little bit of feedback coming from your end.
You're good. I can hear you.
No, I meant like I can hear you through your microphone. I can hear me through your microphone.
That's weird.
What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
Oh.
Hand check.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear me a little bit, but it's all right.
All right.
Probably just need to back off the mic a little bit. But yeah, dude, it was really, really, really cool. And I can't wait for people to see this place. I really can't. There's a balcony in that main room too, which is right next to where the vendors are going to be. So if people don't want to go back down the stairs, they could sit there on the balcony and watch the vendors.
So you don't have to go downstairs. You can just jump.
That's just stupid. You know, fun fact that you say that. There is actually like a trap door going from one of the rooms. Really?
Yeah.
There is a trap door going from one of the rooms, but it was part of an initiation thing. But yeah, right. But yeah, dude, it was really cool. Didn't get to investigate it, which is fine. No big deal. Right. But I'm hoping to go back there beforehand because I'm definitely glad to help on the weekends if they need any help with anything.
Yeah.
But gee, I wonder, somebody was announced to go to that.
Who's speaking?
Yeah.
Oh, I know who it is. Dustin Perry.
I was going to say you, but sure.
Yeah, that guy too.
Dustin, and then 2 other people as well.
Yeah, Brian Murray and Rochelle Stratton will be there from Ghost Hunters the second.
And I believe they have an investigation as well at the, I don't know if it's open yet.
The Kansas Penitentiary?
Yes. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's open yet, so I don't want to
It
say
is.
newly opened. Kansas, it is opened.
It is. I was trying to be the first person to go in there and investigate.
Apex beat you to it.
Yes and no.
Okay, sure.
I mean, yes, they did, but like I contacted them first.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is one thing that bothered me about it. Like, this is why I didn't really push it too much, because it's still part of the active prison.
Oh, yeah, because the active prison's pretty well. It's not too far down the way.
Like, it's connected to it.
I don't.
Part of no.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
The whole building is part of the building is not in use, and part of the building is still in use. The part that's not in use is what you'll investigate. The other part is still being used for prisoners.
Oh, that's good. Well, it's kind of like the sanitarium and down in Arkansas.
Yes and no. I think I would fear the prisoners more than I would.
There's a wall. Oh God, Cassie. Just don't go hanging around any holes, okay?
There's a wall.
What?
There's a hole in that wall.
There's a hole in that wall. Hey now.
Hey.
I'm excited to check that out too, honestly.
And he's going to be announcing some more speakers here soon. They're just waiting for some things to fall. But yeah, this number one. Great. It's going to be fun to see Brian Murray again.
And you're not paying $100 per ticket to get in.
Well, there's that. But like, I haven't seen Brian since we were at Ashmore together.
Yeah, there's some great people coming back.
Dustin Perry, it'll be awesome to see him again.
Dude, he's such a phenomenal speaker.
I want to hang out with him, but
he was a lot of fun. I want to ask him if he still has tinnitus or not. Oh
yeah, I'm sure he does.
Probably.
I would love to see him drunk.
Dustin,
that'd be hilarious.
I got to tell you something after the show. Sorry, guys. Just remind me, Dustin.
Okay. And not too long after that, though, there's another Paracon in Richmond, hosted by Blondes and Booze.
Yes.
And I'll be at that one as well, speaking at that. But there's going to be a lot of people there, a lot of speakers, a lot of vendors, a lot of guests.
Is that going to be in September, you said?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's September 20.
Why have I not seen any announcements for this?
Let me pull this up here.
Like, I follow Blondes, and I don't know why.
I haven't seen any announcement. I don't even know. I hope they're announcing it.
Have they announced it? Because you just may have jumped the gun.
I was just on their podcast a couple days ago, and we were talking about it. Let me pull this up real quick. I can share who's going to be there.
Oh, sick.
It's going to be a good one. Some people I have not met there that are going to be there. Let me pull this up.
Oh, Crossing Realms Conference? Is that what it's called?
Crossing Realms, yeah.
That's it. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm going to follow that.
So Josh Hurd will be there. So we're going to mess with him. William Lunsford, I don't know who that is. Professor Heather Moser, producer of Small Town Monsters.
Cool.
Greg Ogles, who's a filmmaker and researcher. A lot of these people I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dean Bertram. Dean Bertram is a filmmaker and historian, but I've seen him on a few programs as well.
Oh, sweet.
Frankie Campbelletta is a paranormal researcher. Dan Klein from Haunted Souls will be there.
Nice.
Let's see. Ken Gerhard, who's been on TV, had a couple TV shows. He's made appearances on like Ancient Aliens and some Bigfoot shows and stuff like that. He'll be there. Let's see here. Of course, myself. But yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 like special guests.
Wow.
So it's going to be a fun one there too.
Hey, this year is already lining up to be a banger. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, like
it's going to
be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. But how about we get into some Jack the Ripper?
They're not here for that.
No, they're just here to listen to us ramble, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, yeah, let's get into some Jack the Ripper. Huh?
Probably a good idea. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Yeah. Get on with it. That's where we
get it on
from Monty Python. Just get on with it. It's like Perfect.
That's what I miss about having StreamYard.
I'll throw it in clips at instantly. Yeah.
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 Damn it.
Hey, there's an update. Maybe they changed it.
We'll look into it, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So, episode 1, we talked about the murders.
Okay.
Episode 2, we talked about the suspects.
Yes.
This time, we are going to talk a little bit about the CSI behind it all, the crime scene investigation.
Yes.
So, in the early days of the Jack the Ripper police investigation, the general consensus among people and the police was that the crimes were gang related. Like, people are going out and just gang raping prostitutes. Which, and honestly, the gang thing kind of makes sense with the theory that you kind of kicked up earlier.
Yeah.
Last week or the week before last. Oh, it was the week before last during one of the murders. So were the crimes gang related? On the 7th of September, 1888, the Weekly Herald, commenting on the police investigation into the Jack the Ripper murders, which at that point were known as the Whitechapel murders, reported on the murder of Mary Nichols, which had taken place on the 31st of August. In that, they said, the officers engaged in the case are pushing their inquiries in the neighborhood as to the doings of certain gangs known to frequent the locality. And an opinion is gaining ground amongst them that the murderers are the same who committed the 2 previous murders near the same spot. It is believed that these gangs, who make their appearance during the early hours of the morning, are in the habit of blackmailing these unfortunate women, and when their demands are refused, violence follows. And in order to avoid their deeds being brought to light, they put away their victims. They have been under the observation of the police for some time past, and it is believed that with the prospect of a reward and a free pardon, some of them might be persuaded to turn Queen's evidence when some startling revelations might be expected. So basically, in a nutshell, what they were trying to do is bribe some of these gang members into coming forward and just narking. In early September 1888, the powers that were at Scotland Yard, which was the headquarters of the Metropolitan Police, decided that local knowledge was what was needed if the perpetrator of the Whitechapel murders was to be apprehended.
Yes.
To this end, Inspector Frederick George Aberline, an officer who had been promoted out of the area the previous December, and 14 years spent patrolling and getting to know the neighborhood and its crime elements, was drafted back into the district to take overall charge on the ground that Jack the Ripper police investigation. It was evidently believed that Aberline's local knowledge would prove invaluable in hunting down the killer and bringing him to justice. So, did the Ripper know his victims? Do you think? Let me know what you guys think down here in the comments. If you watched the first episode, you have a good indication on whether or not he did.
Yep.
An important aspect of a murder investigation is looking at the victim's immediate circle and ascertaining who amongst them had a motive and an opportunity to commit the crime. However, since Jack the Ripper was an opportunist killer who most certainly did not know his victims, this would have been of little use to Aberline and his fellow detectives. So since the victims didn't know their killer, and it was, therefore, impossible to identify their murderer amongst their associates, the Victorian detectives had to fall back upon other methods of trying to trace him. High on their list of police investigative methods would have been a thorough knowledge of the local criminals. This is where, it was believed, Aberline's knowledge of the locality would come in useful. It was hoped that a little well-applied police persuasion might cause one of the local villains to turn informer and hand the murderer to the police. But since Jack the Ripper probably worked alone and, in all likelihood, was not a member of the local criminal fraternity, this line of inquiry was ultimately doomed to failure. So on that note, I'm going to have Charles read one of the first pieces of evidence being one of the letters that was sent in.
Yes.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to go blow my nose.
How dare you? All right, that's fine.
How dare you?
All right, so we're going to start with the infamous Dear Boss letter, I should say. So, let's see here. All right, so the name Jack the Ripper didn't enter the investigation until after the night of the so-called double murder of Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes on September 30th, 1888. Up until that point, the killer had been known variously as the Red Fiend, the Chapel Murderer, and Leather Apron. It was the arrival of a gloating letter posted to a London news agency in later September 1888 that would introduce the name Jack the Ripper into the saga. The letter in question was received by Central News Agency as their premises in the city of London, at their premises in the city of London on September 27th, 1888. It was ignored at first by the news agency. They weren't too concerned with it. And it would be 2 days before, on September 29th, they would decide to pass it on to the Metropolitan Police. The letter, written in a boastful tone, was addressed to the Boss, Central News Office, London City. It read, Dear Boss, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I have laughed when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track. The joke about Leather Apron gave me real fits. I'm down on horrors and shan't quit ripping them. Okay, I'm just going to stop right there.
No, let's keep reading it. This is evidence.
Okay, that's true. I shan't keep ripping them until it just feels so wrong to say, until I do get buckled. Grand work the last job was. I gave the lady no time to squeal. Ugh. How can they catch me now? I love my work and want to start again. Right? You will soon hear of me with funny little games. I saved some of the proper red stuff in a ginger bottle over the last job to write with, but it went thick like glue. Can't use it. Red ink is fit enough, I hope. Haha.
That's crazy. He was going to write that in blood.
Yeah, literally he was going to write that in blood. The next job I shall clip the lady's ears off and send to the police officers just for jolly, wouldn't you? Just for jolly, wouldn't you? I don't know what that means.
Jollies.
Wouldn't you? Yeah. Keep this letter back till I do a bit more work, then give it out straight. My knife's so nice and sharp, I want to get to work right away if I get a chance. Good luck. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Don't mind me giving the trade name. Wasn't good enough to post this before I got all the ink off my hands. Curse it, no luck yet. They say I'm a doctor now. Ha ha.
So maybe he wasn't a doctor.
That's my guess. That's what I was thinking too.
But I kind of feel like you should throw a few meh in there.
Meh. See? I'm not a doctor now, they say.
What was it? Your comment about my leather apron gave me a good laugh, man.
Quite a fits, yeah. That's what it was.
I'm not a doctor, see?
It's messed up. But yeah, that's a Dear Boss letter. Good times.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah, it's I don't know what else to say, man. That's so messed up. There's so many messed up things in there. Oh, yeah, no thanks.
So one aspect of the police investigation into the Jack the Ripper killings was that was radically different to how a murder inquiry might be handled today, was that the police didn't make a great deal of use of the press.
Gee.
Indeed, there had long been a certain amount of distrust towards the press in police circles. In the early days of the CID, Howard Vincent had adopted a policy that the police were under no circumstances to talk to journalists about their cases. I'm not going to read what he stated about that because it's not a major factor.
No, it's not very important.
A major fear, and possibly a very reasonable one, was that if the police were to tell journalists about the lines of inquiry that they were following, then the subsequent press reportage might well tip off possible suspects that the police were on to them. Early in the investigation, the police had seen the danger posed by sensationalists press reportage when the leather apron scare almost set off an anti-Jewish program in the East End of London. Thus, the police chose to try and keep the journalists at arm's length in order to keep their lines of inquiry from becoming public knowledge. So I guess that's where the leather apron thing came in.
Yep. Makes sense.
However, and unfortunately for the police, the Ripper crimes generated a huge amount of press coverage, and the general public were desperate to pore over every salacious detail of the case. Starved of news by the police, journalists adopted several means of obtaining information. They would shadow individual constables or detectives in the hope they would lead them to a suspect or a witness. They would track down and interview witnesses to see if they could gain a hint as to what stage, if any, the police investigation had reached. They would try to bribe officers or attempt to loosen their tongues with drink. Some journalists even dressed up as women and set off into the streets of Whitechapel in the hope that they might get accosted by Jack the Ripper, and in so doing, gain a sensational scoop for their newspaper. He whacked my wiener off.
What the?
He was Jack.
That was
the
just really
Ripper.
random. I'm just saying. I was not expecting that.
And when all else failed, they could always make up stories. I got attacked by they, them. False leads and anti-Semitism. So ultimately, the antics of the popular press proved counterproductive to the police investigation into Jack the Ripper murders, since the reporting threw up so many false leads and red herrings that the already overstretched detectives were stretched to almost breaking point. Also, the anti-Semitism that stories such as the leather apron scare provoked diverted valuable police resources, such as the on-ground constables, away from trying to prevent another Ripper outrage to simply maintaining public order in the area.
Okay. That makes sense.
Another subject of intense debate throughout the Jack the Ripper scare was whether or not a reward should be offered by authorities in order to induce someone to come forward with information that might lead to the killer's apprehension. At the inquest into the death of Mary Nichols, the foreman of the jury had stated that had a reward been offered by the government after the murder of Martha Tabram, then very probably the two later murders, Mary Nichols and Nanny Chapman, would not have been perpetrated. Although the police attracted a huge amount of criticism over their refusal to offer a reward, it was in fact a home office policy rather than a police policy not to offer one. Interesting.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got something big to share after this. There's some interesting things, advancements in the JFK stuff. Like how many documents were found because of the order.
Look at you, not even paying attention to our radio show.
I am. It just came across my feed, dude. I swear to you, it just came across. It's crazy.
So it should be noted that despite the Home Office's refusal to offer a reward, several private individuals, as well as the Lord Mayor of the City of London, did offer rewards, none of which resulted in the killer's apprehension.
Of course not, because it's the police.
So I'll let you go ahead and drop letter number 2.
All right, letter number 2 is the letter, the From Hell letter received by George Lusk. Right?
That was a good movie.
From Hell?
Yeah.
Oh, don't know if I know that one. Yeah.
I believe that one had Johnny Depp in it.
Was that a Stephen King movie? No?
It was a movie about Jack the Ripper.
And it had Johnny Depp in it?
I believe so.
How have I not seen this?
How have you not? Hang on.
From Hell. Never heard of it.
2001. Yeah, it had Johnny Depp in it.
Hold the phone. This is more pressing matters.
Yeah, From Hell puts an intense urban spin on the horrific legend of Jack the Ripper and unravels a chilling alleged conspiracy involving the highest powers.
What?
Yep.
Got a 6.7 off IMDb, 4.5 out of Amazon. Dude, I gotta check this out. I wonder if it's anything like Sleepy Hollow.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's. It almost has that feel. Maybe
'Cause
it's Sweeney Todd feel mixed with Sleepy Hollow.
I was gonna say if it's yes, that I'm in. That's
But it's good. It's really good.
I was about to mention like Sweeney Todd's like up there for me for Johnny Depp, 100%, 100%.
He's good at portraying killers
It's weird, right?
or in killer movies because
In killer movies.
The Secret Window was.
Oh yeah, that was messed up, bro.
that was really good.
Fantastic. What a twist.
All right, so new poll question: what's your favorite Johnny Depp movie?
Yep, throw it in the chat. All right. So, a constant theme running through the Jack the Ripper correspondence was that the writer, who variably was purporting to be the killer, would send a body part from one of his victims to the police. The initial Dear Boss letter had, for example, contained the threat, "The next job I do, I shall clip the lady's ear off and send to the police officers just for the jolly, wouldn't you?" However, right? However, the letters that arrived in the wake of the original Jack the Ripper missive contained only, among other artworks, crude drawings of female forms with jagged cuts, helpfully illustrating where on the body the author would make his incisions or mutilations. But then in mid-October 1888, a letter arrived that actually made good on the threat, and with the additional salacious suggestion that the killer had also indulged in cannibalism, it added an extra level of gruesome melodrama to the Jack the Ripper mystery. I mean, England back then, the low end, you're probably short on money.
Yeah,
I bet somebody was okay with eating human flesh. I bet a few people were probably okay with it.
I mean, if you dry it out, it's just jerky.
It tastes great. I would never. The butt of this particular prank. Sure, okay, word it that way. The butt of this particular prank letter was Mr. George Lusk. What does that even mean? English language, man. I don't understand. Like Britain, huh? Yeah, the butt of the letter, of the particular letter, was Mr. George Lusk. He's the butt of the letter. What does that mean?
Behind the letter?
No, he's the one that was given the letter. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I mean, think of it like the butt
Received
of the joke. You're the butt of the
guess.
joke. But you're the one receiving.
I guess
the
it's
letter,
still messed
receiving.
up.
So the butt's the receiver. Man, we got it backwards.
No,
You got it all wrong. What are you doing?
I'm not even going to go into that. It's not that kind of show. Mr. Lusk had been constantly in the newspaper in the first 2 weeks of October on account of his vigilance patrol activities. In addition, he had also addressed several public meetings that had been actively soliciting the Home Office, urging them to rethink their stand on not offering a reward for information that might lead to the killer to be identified.
Mm-hmm.
The resultant press coverage had ensured that his name was constantly in the public eye throughout the first 2 weeks of October, and it didn't take long for a few of the East End's more unsavory characters to latch on to him and begin stalking him. At 4:15 on Thursday, October 4th, 1888, a man who the newspaper reports described as having florid appearance, turned up on Mr. Lusk's doorstep. The stranger was about 5'9", 5'9" in height. 5'9" in height.
There we go.
And was aged between 30 to 40. He sported a bushy brown beard and had whiskers and a moustache. The man who told Mr. Lusk was at a nearby tavern was kept by his son. So the man headed round to the tavern and having located Mr. Lusk, subjected him to a barrage of questions about the beats taken by the members of the Mile End Vigilance Committee. He then attempted to induce Mr. Lusk to enter... Yeah, I said Lush. It's weird. Mr. Lush to enter a private room with him. Looks like he's going to be the one that's Lush. But as the news of the world reported... The stranger's appearance, however, was so repulsive and forbidding that Mr. Lusk declined, but consented to hold a quiet conversation with him in the bar parlor. The two were talking when the stranger drew a pencil from his pocket and said, Want to see how I can make this pencil disappear? No, I shouldn't. And
Wanna see a
purposely
magic trick?
want to see. That's it. He drew a pencil from his pocket and purposely dropped it over the side of the table, saying, "Pick that up." Just as Mr. Lusk turned to do so, he noticed a stranger make a swift, though silent movement of his right hand towards his side pocket, and seeing that he was detected, assumed as a nonchalant air, okay, and asked to be directed to the nearest coffee and dining rooms. Mr. Lusk directed him to a house in the Mile End Road, and the stranger quietly left the house, followed by Mr. Lusk, who went to the coffee house indicated and found that the man had not been there, but had given his pursuer the slip by disappearing up a court. Remember that?
That's weird. Pretty weird.
Yeah, it's a very weird encounter. On the 10th of October, another suspicious-looking man was seen looking outside Mr. Lusk's house. Lusk reported this particular character to the police, who duly circulated a description of him. Wow, that was really eventful. 2 days later, Mr. Lusk received a letter that reportedly was written in a similar hand to that of the Dear Boss missive. The letter read, "I write you a letter in black ink, as I have no more of that right stuff. I think you are all asleep in Scotland Yard with your bloodhounds, as I will show you tomorrow night, Saturday. I am going to do a double event, but not in Whitechapel. Got rather too warm there. Had to shift. No more till you hear me again. Jack the Ripper." And another letter. George Lusk was doubtless becoming decidedly unnerved by the amount of attention he was beginning to receive from the more unsavory elements of the East End society. He nervously no doubt increased when a taunting postcard arrived in the mail. "Say, boss, you seem rare frightened. Guess I'd like to give you fits. You can't spend time enough to let your box of toys play copper games with me, but hope to see you when I don't hurry much. Bye-bye, boss." A mysterious stranger inquires after Mr. Lusk. It's like when I read normally, I can't read very well, but when I read in a freaking character, I can read just fine.
Maybe you should read like the 1930s radio announcer
Oh, okay.
or
Hold on.
1920s.
Mysterious stranger inquires after Mr. Lusk, like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can do it.
Just when you do the letters.
Just in the letters.
I think you should do the letters like that. The letter.
Come on,
You know
the
what?
letters need to be like mysterious.
Okay, but we got to do this at some point. We're gonna make some shorts
All
where
right,
you're reading the letters like that,
all right, cool.
just because.
Reporting over in Germany today, 2 planes went down. Something like that. Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, if I could get the pitch right and the tuning right on my board, I could probably sound just like one of those mics too. Either way. Okay, so back to the article. On 15th October, a Miss Marsh was working behind the counter in her father's leather shop at 218 Jubilee Street, close to the London Hospital, when a man dressed like a cleric entered. He was particularly interested in the Vigilance Committee's reward poster that was displayed in the shop window and questioned her about the address of Mr. George Lusk. Miss Marsh told him to ask at the nearby Crown Pub. The man told her that he didn't want to go to a pub. She therefore got out a copy of a recent newspaper and found a report that mentioned Lusk Street, but which omitted his house number. This she read out whilst the man took it down in a notebook. According to Miss Marsh, the man was of slim build, was about 45 years of age, and around 6 feet tall. Right? He had a sallow complexion and dark beard and a mustache. He spoke with what she took to be an Irish brogue. You know what this is starting to sound like?
Yeah.
Because every description that people have said, it's pretty much lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 2 things. It's either a cop or it's H.H. Holmes.
Yep.
I'm totally on board with that, man. I really am. I know there's no major proof, but the fact that he went to England, the literal exact time this was all happening, but he went there before, and then conveniently, after he had left, all the murders had been done.
And if you guys don't know what we're talking about or what Charles is talking about, there's a show that was on History Channel. If you have a History app, you can probably go watch the show for free.
Yeah.
It's called The American Ripper.
So good.
You'll check that out. Or you could find our older episodes. It should be on the video tab.
And watch Part 2.
The H.H. Holmes. And then there's a second video with H.H. Holmes' great-grandson, Jeff Mudgett.
He's the one that talks about it.
He's the one that's putting this out there, like this is the possibility. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not sold that his body was what was found in the tomb either, by the way. But
well, it was inconclusive.
Yeah.
So
good times. All right, so shortly afterwards, on Tuesday, October 16th, a small package wrapped in brown paper bearing an indistinct London postmark was delivered to Lusk in the Evening Post. It was addressed to him by name and bore the street name, but did not give his house number. The parcel contained a foul-smelling piece of kidney, together with a letter, and handwriting of which was the same as that of the postcard Lusk had received a few days before. From hell, Mr. Lusk, sore. I send you half the kidney I took from one of the women. Preserved it for you. That's not. I don't think that's how you say preserved. I don't think that's how you say it. Prasarved.
No.
Huh?
Nope, that's not.
Yeah, exactly. Preserved it for you to maybe he's spelling accurately with what the letter. I don't know. Preserved it for you. For you to thether piece I fried. The other piece I fried and ate it was very nice, and I may send you the bloody knife that took it out if you only wait a while longer. Signed, catch me when you can, Mr. Lusk. Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe maybe at a list.
Maybe. All right. Lusk's initial reaction, aside from the cringing and disgust, was to dismiss it as just another sick prank, and he presumed that the kidney was that of a sheep or some other animal. His doubts notwithstanding forever, he sought the opinion of other Vigilance Committee members, including the committee treasurer, Joseph Herons. As it transpired, none of them shared his opinion that the grisly package was a prank. The general consensus was that they should seek a medical opinion, and so the kidney was taken to Dr. Frederick Wiles, Mile End Road Surgery. Although Wiles was not there, his assistant, Dr. Reed, examined the kidney and gave it as his opinion that it was human. However, Reed thought it was advisable to seek a second opinion, and the kidney was duly taken to the London hospital where Dr. Thomas Openshaw, the pathological curator, examined it. Openshaw's finding would become the subject of much press debate, not to mention misreporting in the days that followed. Openshaw would become so alarmed by inaccuracies that would appear in various newspapers that he would go on record to correct them. Ultimately, the subsequent press coverage would encourage another Jack the Ripper writer to target Openshaw with his very own prank letter. That's it. Dave, you're muted. Oh, he's probably looking up something. I got caught. He's not even paying attention to what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, daddy. No, I was keeping up with you on that other. So I'm like closing this and opening this and
all good, dude.
All that good jazz. Okay. The 1888 police, therefore, could only pursue their inquiries in the hope that a lucky break might lead them. Indeed, just how helpful the prospect of a reward could prove is amply demonstrated by a report that appeared in the Daily News, which is super long. I'm not going to read it. The mention of vague descriptions in the article is quite interesting because, fabricators aside, there were some important witnesses who may have seen the face of Jack the Ripper. However, another valuable tool that the police would utilize today was that wasn't used a great deal in the Jack the Ripper investigation was an artist's impression of what the killer might have looked like based on witnesses who may have seen him with his victims. There were several people who may have seen the face of the Ripper, and an artist composite published in every London newspaper may well have brought an identification of a suspect from a neighbor or even a family member. So on October 20th of 1888, the Illustrated Police News did publish 2 suspect sketches. However, these were little more than an artist's impression of what an evil and villainous murderer such as Jack the Ripper should have looked like, as opposed to an accurate depiction of the suspects based on witness descriptions. So as such, they did little to help with the hunt for Jack the Ripper, and may have hindered the investigations, since the police were inundated with tip-offs about anyone who bore even the slightest resemblance to the crude sketches. That's the end of that one. That whole thing.
That's it?
Yep.
Like the whole thing?
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The whole CSI thing.
Wow. Okay. So we got
the police investigation.
Dr. Openshaw's letter. All right. On Friday 19th, 1888, in October, the Star newspaper carried the following report on the piece of kidney that had accompanied the From Hell letter, which was sent to Dr. George Lusk. The portion of the kidney which is enclosed was, according to the medical experts, been preserved for some time in spirits of wine. The person from whom it was taken was probably. So, person from whom it was taken was probably. Okay. Sure. Alive 3 weeks since. That's wild. Okay. A circumstance which fits in with the suggestion that the organ may have been taken from the body of the deceased woman, Eddowes, murdered in Mitre Square. Another fact that the kidney is evidently that of a person who had been a considerable drinker, which is most of the women, as there were distinct marks of disease. The handwriting of this letter differs together from the Jack the Ripper. Specimens of whose calligraphy were recently published. The writing is of an inferior character, evidently disguised, while the spelling, as will be seen, is different. See, if it was a police station, just saying, you could have plenty of people write different letters, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. It just makes sense. There seems to be no room for doubt that what has been sent to Mr. Lusk is part of a human kidney, but nevertheless, it may be doubted whether it has a serious bearing on the Mitre Square murder. The whole thing may possibly turn out to be a medical student's gruesome joke. It had been preserved in spirits. Dr. Openshaw told a Star reporter today that after having examined the piece of kidney under the microscope, he was of an opinion that it was half of a left human kidney. He couldn't say, however, whether it was that of a woman, nor how long it had been removed from the body, as it had been preserved in spirits. It is believed that the revolting parcel is not from the murderer, but is merely a medical student's practical joke. The Metropolitan Police last night handed the piece of kidney over to the city police on the assumption that if the whole thing is not, as is most likely, the disgusting trick of some practical joker, it relates to the Mitre Square crime. The East London Advertiser on October 20th, 1888, quoted Openshaw as saying that the kidney that accompanied the From Hell letters was a portion of a human kidney, a guinea kidney, a ginny kidney, so probably, yeah, a ginny, which means it had scars from drinking.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that is to say one that had belonged to a person who had drunk heavily. So there you go. He was further of the opinion that it was the organ of a woman about 45 years of age, and that it had been taken from the body within the last 3 weeks. It will be within public recollection that the left kidney was missing from the woman Eddowes, who was murdered and mutilated in Mitre Square. A medical student's joke. From the outset, it appears the police were of the opinion that the kidney and the From Hell letter were as the Star suggested on 19th of October, Nothing more than a silly prank carried out by medical students. That's messed up. Messed up.
Kids, man.
Right. That's so true. The kidney is given to the City of London Police. As the Star mentioned, following Openshaw's examination of the kidney, it was ordered over to the City Police, in whose jurisdiction the murder of Catherine Eddowes had taken place. Yeah, so they just gave them the evidence of the crime. On October 27th, Inspector James McWilliams of the City Police presented the first police report on the gruesome artifact. The kidney has been examined by Dr. Gordon Brown, who is of the opinion that it is human. Every effort is being made to trace the sender, but it is not desirable that publicity should be given to the doctor's opinion or the steps that are being taken in consequence. It might turn out, after all, to be the act of a medical student who would have no difficulty in obtaining the organ in question. So literally, the conspiracy theorists back in the day would be like, no, that was the kidney of the chick. Like that's what it would be. That's absolutely because of the main narrative that the police is trying to put out there. Oh, it could be college students playing a prank. Where's your
college kids?
Where's your factive basis for that? Have the college students been caught for doing stuff like that before?
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, have they been fooled?
Yeah, like, why are you thinking that? Is that just like, is that a cop out for the cops to just have another endless investigation section?
Well, I mean, they weren't getting anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. So they get you like, I was just some college kids, whatever.
And when you're done with that, I'll talk about a little bit of their incompetence.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. It's so bad. All right. Chief Inspector Swanson had held daily meetings with Inspector McWilliams since the arrival of the From Hell letter and the portion of the kidney. And on November 6th, it's 6th November 1888. I don't like the way they do their freaking...
Sound it out.
I know, right? He forwarded his report on the matter. It's just like it's ingrained. You know what I mean? Like American learning is so ingrained that when you see 6th November 1888, it just I don't. My brain doesn't think that way. It's November 6th, 1888. You don't say 1888 November 6th.
Right.
Anyways, I know I'm weird. He forwarded his report on the matter of the Home Office. The result of the combined medical opinion is that the kidney of a human adult, not charged with the fluid, as it would have been in case the body was handed over for purpose of dissection to a hospital, but rather as it would be in the case of where it was taken from the body, not so destined. In other words, similar kidneys might and could be obtained from any dead person upon whom a post-mortem had been made from any cause by students or dissecting a room porter. Literally, the cops sat in their office a lot trying to come up with the freaking reason of what this could be. Yes, that is investigating, but that could also be covering a murder.
Right.
Just
wait, what? They would cover up a murder?
Right? Why would they do that? I don't know what secret societies do, because police do have fraternal orders.
I mean,
just saying.
Yeah.
Anyways,
right.
With the passage of more than 120 years and the disappearance of anything remotely associated with the portion of the kidney, even the original of the From Hell letter has long since vanished. It is now almost impossible to establish any degree of certainty whether or not the portion of the kidney sent to Mr. Lusk was part of the one removed from Catherine Eddowes by her murderer, and we have little choice to rely upon the opinion of the doctors who were there at the time and had the opportunity to examine it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. The majority of those doctors seem to have been of the opinion that the From Hell letter was a prank missive, that the accompanying kidney was a sick part of a hoax. This opinion appears to have been shared by the police officers. Oh, isn't that freaking convenient?
How convenient for you and the clock.
That's interesting.
Well, yeah.
I've got more.
Talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. The only dissenting police voice on the matter was that of Major Henry Smith, the acting city commissioner, who later recalled this in his memoir. I made over the kidney to the police surgeon, instructing him to consult with the most eminent men in the profession and to send me a report without delay. I gave the substance of it. The renal artery is about 3 inches long. 2 inches remained in the corpse. 1 inch was detached to the kidney. The kidney left in the corpse was in an advanced state of bright disease. The kidney sent me was in a exactly similar state. But what was of far more importance, Mr. Sutton, one of the senior surgeons at the London hospital, whom Gordon Brown asked to meet him and another surgeon in consultation, and who was one of the greatest authorities living on the kidney and its diseases, said he would pledge his reputation. The kidney submitted to them had been put in spirits within a few hours of its removal from the body, thus effectively disposing of all hoaxes in connection with it. However, no report from Sutton, if there ever was one, has survived, and it has been said that the Major Smith's veracity has often been called in doubt. Colleagues remembered him as being an entertaining and charming racketeer, but also commented on his ability to play fast and loose with the truth when it suited his story. Conspiracy theorist! Indeed, a report in Echo on October 19th, 1888, would appear to refute Major Smith's assertion. The kidney incident is regarded by Dr. Gordon Brown and the police as a hoax. Even if the kidney forwarded to Mr. Lusk, the chairman of the Vigilance Committee, should prove to be the half of the human organ, and there is medical discrepancy on this point, it could not have been the one extracted from the body of the murdered woman Eddowes. A medical man is said to have ventured to assert relying I have no idea. Relying, I don't know. Upon a microscopic examination, the organ showed indications of disease from drink. Sedgwick Saunders, medical officer of the city of London, accepted this at once, disproves the theory that the organ could have belonged to Eddowes by stating that the right kidney of the woman was perfectly healthy and presumed the left would be in similar condition. A journalist from Echo had called on Dr. Sedgwick Saunders on the morning of October 19th to seek his opinion. The subsequent article stated that Saunders, alluding at first to the report that a medical man declared the half kidney had belonged to a female, remarked, "It is a pity some people have not the courage to say that they don't know. You may take it there is no difference whatever between the male and female kidney. Difference between the medical," yeah, that's what it was. "As for those in animals, they are similar. The cortical substance is the same and the structure differs in shape. I think it would be quite possible to mistake it for pigs. You may take it that the right kidney of a woman, Eddowes, was perfectly normal in its structure and healthy, and by parity of the reasoning, you would not get much disease in the left. The liver was healthy and gave no indications that the woman drank. Taking the discovery of the half of the kidney and supposing it to be human, my opinion is that it was a student's hoax, and it is quite possible for any student to obtain a kidney for that purpose." So here's the thing. If the police and the coroner has the body, who's to say the police were just like, "Hey, let's lie and say the kidney's perfect."
Right? Or let's just say it's from an animal.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
It just...
So...
Yeah, exactly. Throwing it could be like pigs. Yeah, it's messed up. All right, so there's more. Sorry.
So real quick, Lori, we went through the murder suspects on the last episode, if you want to check that out. But yeah, Kosminski was one of the murder suspects.
And somebody in his family line has come forward and said that they want answers as to why a Shaw that was found at one of the crime scenes, I can't remember which one specifically, had a positive test for semen that was linked to him on that Shaw. Mind you, Dave and I could disprove this super easily. We could just be like, oh, maybe he was a customer that night.
Yeah.
She was a lahore. So.
But it doesn't totally dismiss everything. So, like.
It doesn't. So that he could be the killer, and he could be also.
Killer could be a customer.
And the killer could be a customer. So, like, just because, for me, though, for what I'm saying is just because there was semen on the cloth doesn't mean that he was the killer. But it also doesn't mean he wasn't. His DNA implanted. Maybe. Or it was just something that lined up. Well, so here's the thing. The DNA couldn't have been planted because they didn't have enough reason. They didn't have the technology to do DNA back then.
Yeah, so I mean, they wouldn't. Let's just put some semen on it.
Yeah, like hey, man, you're going to sit right here real quick.
Wait. Somebody died? Hang on a second.
Exactly.
Get this.
But,
trying to open this, man.
Don't dump it. No, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Kosminski or whatever his name was, he could have just hired her. He could have just like, it's just how it was. She was a prostitute, so she has samples. I mean, honestly,
I don't think she kept people's semen, but
maybe. You never know.
But like I said, maybe she was taking back shots and some of it got on her clothes,
or that's what she used to wipe off.
Like, whoa. It was on her shawl, so she would.
Where do you want it today, baby? What?
On my shawl.
Yeah, exactly.
You spilled some semen. Throw it over your left shawl.
Kind of show. I'm sorry, guys. My bad. God. It's after 9. It's fine. It's after 9. It's okay, right? So
hope your kids are in bed.
Yeah, let's. Oh God. Okay, so I got a little bit more of this. Here we go.
All righty.
So the general consensus at the time was that the kidney sent to Mr. Lusk from the with the "From Hell" letter was nothing more than a sick practical joke. A likely story. However, its arrival injected yet another sinister twist into the Jack the Ripper mystery. The fact that Dr. Openshaw was being regularly quoted and discussed in the press inevitably attracted the attention of the Jack the Ripper hoaxers. Why is it hoaxers? Why are you jumping to that?
Because that was conspiracy theorists back in the day.
On October 29th, right? Right before Halloween, by the way.
Maybe he's Jack the Ripper.
Maybe.
One of the letter to himself to throw everybody off.
Ooh, good point. I couldn't be the Ripper. Why would I have this letter?
Why would I have this kidney?
He said that too, right? He's a doctor.
You think I just killed somebody? It's okay.
Right. One of the pranksters decided it would be a good joke to honor Dr. Openshaw with his very own missive. Old boss, you was right. It was the left kidney. I was going to operate again close to you. Hospital.
Is he Southern now?
Dude, I don't know, dude. It's literally really, it's spelled Hoperate. This guy, like whoever wrote this, is literally doing the actual letter. Yeah. He's typing out the actual letter. So I'm reading he's quoting it completely.
I noticed on one letter, like they typed it out the way it was written.
Yeah.
What gets me, and it could be like an English thing, but
hospital.
The bad grammar,
it's so bad,
does not speak as an educated man.
No, it doesn't. It kind of let's see.
The doctor, no,
Hoperate, agent, Hoperate again.
So
close.
If it was a doctor, he would have been educated. And then in one of the letters, he laughed about being a doctor, called a doctor.
He's trying to cover.
He laughed about the apron. He laughed about being called a doctor.
Right.
He has bad grammar.
Right. Or he's trying to cover.
Maybe he did go to medical school, but didn't finish.
Maybe. All right. So I was going to operate again close to you hospital, just as I was going in to draw me knife right along of a blooming throat. Them cusses of coppers spoilt the game. Coppers. Oh, nice. I was thinking like coins, but coppers as in cops. No, coppers, like cops. Spoilt the game, but I guess I'll be on the job soon and send you another bit of innards. Jack the Ripper. Oh, have you seen the devil with the microscope? and scalpel are looking at the kidney with a slide cocked up. That wasn't bad. That was pretty good. That was pretty
decent.
good. All
I'll give you
right.
that. We'll give you that.
Yeah. I should have started that from the beginning with all the letters. Man, with a slight cocked up. Anyways, it's all coming from British, like dry humor guys. I swear. I didn't.
Makes it easier to understand the letters and stuff.
Something like that. So, but given the amount of coverage of the Jack the Ripper correspondent, just as regular English I can't read apparently, such as the Dear Boss from letters generated, I can't even talk. Jeez. Not to mention the amount of police time that was wasted in the following them up. Only a handful of authors were actually traced, and even fewer of them were actually punished. However, the writers that were traced do provide an intriguing glimpse of the type of person who would have taken the time and trouble to compose the Jack the Ripper missive. So there were definitely other letters, right?
Yeah.
Just like how with the Zodiac, there were more letters. There's always copycats, especially if something's huge. I guarantee people are going to throw out stuff just to.
It speaks to that the psychological analysis of like some of these people, they just want to get caught, so they put out these letters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, very similar to like the Zodiac.
Absolutely.
Now, a lot of people talk about the incompetence of the police in the matter, and they did try to contain it the best they could. Not talking to the press about everything. I think that was a good idea by them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the press is going to be sensationalizing anything you give them. And then if you're the killer and you're reading this, you're probably going to be like, oh, well, apparently they know about this, or, oh, they're talking to somebody I'm associated with, or something like that. So I get that portion. But there's a lot of techniques and stuff that we do in modern investigating. And when I say modern, I mean over the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Stuff that we do that was not being done then. Forensic science in the 19th century, although scientists specializing in a variety of fields regularly contributed to the deliberations of criminal courts and had been doing so for close to 100 years. In 1888, forensic science itself was not an integral or established part of a criminal investigation. It'd be another 5 years. They just missed the mark by 5 years.
Just missed it.
5 years before the Austrian magistrate Hans Gustav Adolf Gross published his groundbreaking book, which was basically a handbook for investigating or examining crime scenes and stuff.
Cool.
Gross was probably the first man to fully understand and appreciate the importance of scientific evidence in a criminal investigation, and his contribution to the field was acknowledged in 1895 when, at the International Union of Criminologists Congress, he was referred to as the father of criminalistics, which is the study of crime. So for us today, well versed in the science, if you watch CSI or anything,
I used to do it a lot, actually.
Well, as soon as there's a crime scene, first thing to do, photograph everything before you start touching anything.
Lock it down first and then photograph everything.
So yeah, photography is widely seen as an important part of a murder investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Yet at the time of Jack the Ripper murders, it hardly rated. Indeed, it was considered so unimportant that only one of the Ripper victims, Mary Kelly, was actually photographed at the scene of the crime.
Yeah. Everything else is just drawings.
There were
she
murmurs.
Was so brutal. Oh gosh.
Yeah, there were murmurs that photography might prove useful in helping apprehend the perpetrator of the crimes, but these tended to focus on more bizarre uses.
Yeah.
Inspector Walter Dew, reported that several photographs of the eyes were taken by expert photographers with the latest type of cameras. He claimed that this was done in the forlorn hope that the final images seen by Mary Kelly, i.e. the face of her murderer, had been preserved on her retina.
That's such an interesting theory. I remember that was a another movie that reminded me of this, and I know I've heard of this theory but personally, did you ever see Wild Wild West with Will Smith?
Yeah, long time ago.
Okay, so one of the things that happened in that was a guy basically got his head chopped off. But before that happened, he saw like right after that happened, his head was just there. He saw like the last engraving, or not engraving, but the last picture was like on his retinas, and they shined a light, like opened his head, shined a light going through his eyes.
Oh yeah,
it put the picture on the
I
screen
remember that.
of the guy who killed him. So it's but that was, obviously 1800s. I'm pretty sure it's whenever Ulysses S. Grant was president. Yeah, so I'm blanking on the years right now because my brain's full of other stuff. Anyways, so yeah, that was a theory back then. That was a thing. Crazy.
So Dew went on to comment that the result was negative.
Yeah, I'm sure it was negative. They couldn't. First off, that's not how eyes work.
No,
it's not how the central nervous system works.
Not how any of this works.
Right. It's not like, when a sudden flash of light happens and something gets imprinted onto the wall. That's not how that works. Anyway.
So it is worth noting that in the case of the murder of Catherine Eddowes, the city police were more advanced than their metropolitan police.
Well, that's good.
In recording the immediate vicinity around where the murder had taken place. They even went as far as having a detailed sketch made of the area to be presented at the subsequent inquest to her death. So,
wow. Okay.
If you can't take pictures of the area, you might as well draw it, right?
Exactly. Might as well. Can't skip over details now.
But as far as the sites, like I said, none of them were photographed.
No.
Another important means of identifying criminals is that of fingerprinting. This was not used in the Jack the Ripper police investigation. But indeed, the idea that a person's fingerprints might be used to connect them with a crime was not an established piece of police procedure. The usefulness of fingerprint impressions to a criminal investigation had only emerged in 1880 when Dr. Henry Faulds, a Scottish physician working at the hospital in Tokyo, published a letter in this British scientific journal. Sir William Herschel, who at the time was chief administration officer in Bengal, India. Oh, I'm sorry. Chief administration officer of the Hooghly district.
How dare you?
Yeah. Reported that he had been using thumb impressions to identify illiterate prisoners and workers in the course of his official duties. Now, this was something I think also was being done around the Civil War time. People that were illiterate, they wanted to sign up. Instead of signing your name, you just use your fingerprint. Bloop.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to me.
It is.
It's smart, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's see. So then, let's see. The success of the fingerprinting was immediate, and as a result, rate of criminal identification in India improved dramatically. But obviously, it was too late. They didn't really implement it. It came out before the Ripper murders, but it didn't really become this thing.
Yeah.
Until the 1890s and around 1901.
Wow.
Let's see. So yeah, but all of this was in the future, basically.
Yeah,
of crime scene
the
investigations.
tech did not exist back then, which to me, I'm just saying, I'm just not even just imagining, but I'm sure there are countless people who have been killed in the past that have just people have gotten away with it just because that's just not how things are back. That's how things were back then.
Yeah.
They didn't have the science to really investigate murders like that.
Yeah. I mean, there were some things that they could have done. Sure.
Oh yeah.
But that's with everything. There's I could do this. Hindsight is always 20/20, right?
I feel like this investigation was ran poorly on purpose.
So, and Lori, I don't know if you watched the other videos that we did. So Charles kind of sparked this interesting idea. We're not going to, I don't know if I'd push it as a theory quite yet, but like it's just an idea
Just an idea.
at this point.
But like every single step, it just makes sense.
I'll let you explain it.
So basically, the idea is that the police did it. That the police cleaned up their street by, unfortunately, I don't know why. I don't know why they would do it, but maybe it was a disagreement one night with one of the gals,
or a location,
like
the tavern owners or something.
Yeah, like it just, people had to cover for each other, and unfortunately, the women were the lowest of class. Nobody really cared about them,
especially prostitutes.
Especially that, and it just, they weren't really anything to, not upstanding citizens. I'm not going to say that, but if there's a fraternal order and they all take oaths to protect each other, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, one of them commits murder, then the others cover it up, and then it just kind of falls into this. Okay, this guy likes doing this apparently,
right? And then
it'll turn into a political thing, or it could turn into an internal thing.
Yep. Like it just, at too many turns did it seem like conveniently something would go in favor of the police. Like, oh, it was just a prank.
The one that was nearby, when a murder had taken place.
Yeah.
It's just like,
well, and to be fair, cops are usually roaming at all hours of the day, right? Usually at nighttime as well. Wouldn't it be convenient for a cop to probably kill someone at that time?
Yeah. And then they could be like, oh, I just found this body.
Yeah. Why? Or no, not even that. It's just like they could go do their thing and then somebody else finds the crime. And then, my goodness.
If they were in the middle of it and somebody just happened to be coming up on them, be like,
oh my
go
God,
get some help. I just found this person.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point too.
And then that'd drive them away. There's no phone, so they had to go find somebody.
Right.
That'd give them a few more minutes to do whatever they had to do.
And I wonder how many people they may have tipped off, like, hey, if you see or say anything, we'll kill you.
And another thing that kind of sparked this as well was the other lady who went to jail.
Yeah.
And they thought she was Mary Kelly.
Yes.
And
then
Mary Kelly ends up dead.
Yeah, and most of the women had drinking problems too.
Yeah. That was one of the ties to all these, were the women were in abusive relationships, they had drinking problems, they were poor, and they were prostitutes.
Just is what it is. And it's unfortunate, but
it's easy targets. I mean,
yeah, they're putting themselves out there at this time of night. Like they know that a killer's rolling around, but they have to, they, like what you said, Lori, they have to do what they have to do to survive. But maybe go out in pairs.
Yeah.
That's why I think, a case like this is a perfect reason for why women shouldn't go alone anywhere unless they have a sidearm or maybe some mace. I don't know, but just be armed, because there are horrible people out there. People out there.
It's like Daniel Tosh on one of his stand-up. He's like, if you go on the news and you start saying something like in the lines of, I could have never seen this happen, you're an idiot.
You were,
because I could literally see anybody doing anything horrible.
Yeah.
Like,
how could this ever happen here? Well, because people are crappy.
Yeah.
There's some bad people out there. Just as there's much good, there's probably evil as well, which not probably there is.
And to continue his thing was like, his mom could have set fire to an orphanage and he would have been on TV going, that makes sense. She hated kids.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. It's all crazy. But at the end of the day, though, I do feel like, and that's just another theory. I'm sure there's other people that have probably thought the same thing, that the police were involved in some way. Because to me, it makes sense, especially for murders.
Cover up.
It really is. Same with, if you think about it, same as Zodiac. What if Zodiac was a police person?
Yeah. We covered that in the Zodiac episode, guys.
It was good.
It's a fascinating story, and the reveal of this potential suspect is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. So now that we've reached the end of our Jack the Ripper journey,
Yeah.
I highly recommend if you want to do more research and look into more stuff, because we haven't even covered all of the
There's so
clickable
much.
pages on this website. But
So much.
jacktheripper.org is a great resource for information on Jack the Ripper.
Yes.
Highly recommend it. If you can get through British typing, you can read this. I promise. We can read it. You can read it. We struggled a little bit. Man, had a few strokes, but it's fine. But it's full of so much information, and we felt like that it'd be more important to cover the three specific things, a la the killer, the victims, and obviously the evidence of some sort.
Yeah.
If you want to go do more, that's fine. Plus, there's other videos on here, linked to other YouTube channels. Like, do what you want to do. It's no big deal.
Yeah, 'cause if you try to cover this in like an hour show, 2 hours even,
impossible.
Like, you're not going to get very far.
Yes.
So,
highly recommend you check it out.
No pun intended, but you'd be butchering the entire story.
I
said no pun intended.
I just went ahead and said it. It's fine. What
Stop
kind
being
of show
funny.
would we be? So real quick, a little added fun fact. Over 14,000 pages of documents have been uncovered about JFK. 2,400. Yeah, check this out. This is being reported on, obviously, the Daily Wire, but still, I wanted to read this. The FBI has discovered thousands of records that were never submitted to a review board overseeing the release of documents related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy.
The fuck, Charles?
I know. Axios reported that 2,400 records tied to the assassination were discovered by the officials after President Trump's order that all records be released. The records were supposed to have been transferred to the JFK Assassination Records Preview Board and the National Archives in compliance with the 1992 JFK records. If those were kept in those 2,400 pages specifically,
why?
If they were kept from the actual board since, before 1992, but the board was in 1992, the actual official thing. If they have been kept from them this freaking long, I was born in 92. That's 30.
There's a reason that it got.
There is something
missed.
in those pages that there is a reason for that stuff. Plus, just think about it. All the other thousands of documents that have been found because of it. Bro, things are about to get interesting. I mean, they already are interesting.
They already
don't
are.
get me wrong, but I'm just saying, with this JFK stuff, I can't wait. And I can't wait to see what they find with the Martin Luther King stuff. And I can't wait to see what they find with the Epstein stuff.
Right.
Dude.
I got more news for you.
Yes.
We have hit 1,500.
I was going to say that. We're over 1,500.
Yeah. We're over 1,500.
Finally. Only took us a year and another of Dave's channels. Just kidding. It's like 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, shit, just getting from the 1490 whatever
Dude, took
to
forever.
It is what it is.
Getting out of 1490 took so long.
Now you can tell people we got 1,500 subscribers.
Hey, I already have.
Hey.
I already have been. I noticed it actually a couple nights ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
But yes, Susan, I am as shocked as you are with your little emoji. But yes, woohoo for us for being, we love talking to you guys, and we love that you guys come back and like to hear us talk about things as well. It's just, man, it's one of my passions. Just talking about all things weird and awesome. Well, kind of awesome, but the murders aren't so awesome, but the paranormal stuff is great. I love the paranormal stuff.
If you're a true crime junkie, you'll love the murder stuff.
Next week,
we kept this one clean though. No pictures.
We did. Oh yeah, we did keep it clean. That's compared to the Lizzie Borden ones. Oh, boy, we actually got flagged a little bit for that one.
Yeah, we did.
Oopsies.
So next week is up in the air, but we might have
A
kind
huge
of
show.
some break. I don't know if it'd be breaking, but we have some intriguing stuff going on in the paranormal world.
Oh, that's not weed. Sorry, tea.
Um,
Get away from my mouth. Don't be up against my mouth. Be right here.
some intriguing stuff. Paranormal drama. I made a post about like something a few days ago, and I wasn't actually referring to anything. And then people are like, "Well, what's the tea? Give me the tea. What's going on? Who's this one about?" I'm like, "It's not about anybody. I was just saying I've seen a lot of paranormal drama over the
Yes.
last 2 or 3 weeks, being reported by some people on YouTube and then stuff on Facebook and all that. I see it everywhere. I see everything.
Dave can't help himself. He wants to talk about drama.
Well, people come to me about drama, and it's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? This time I'm like, you know what? I have an idea. Let's put you on the radio show. So we may have a guest next week.
May.
We may not also. We may or we may not.
We'll think of something.
I gotta get a hold of him. I told him to call me tonight, and he didn't.
Just kidding.
Gonna talk to him, get the full scoop before we bring him on, because I don't want to bring him on, have all this come out,
Yeah.
and then there be like nothing to back it. No,
Yup.
But he says he has receipts. He says he's got screenshots. He's got all this stuff. So yeah.
And yes, Susan, I do agree. The picture of Mary is horrible.
It is brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. So yeah, may have a fun show next week.
We're going to have a fun show either way.
Yeah, sure.
It's always fun with us, man.
Hey, you're a fun guy.
Try to be. Some people just don't like me. I don't know why. Just
I don't know either. I think it's your hair color.
Probably the red. What are you
Probably
doing here, Reddy?
Like he's gonna steal your soul.
Yes, I guess. Which is so crazy because in school I was blonde, super blonde.
I know you have like this weird mix of blonde and red now.
That's what it is. I mean, my dad, when he was a kid, his hair was completely like platinum blonde like mine when I was a kid. But when he got older, his hair changed to his mom's color, which was dark, like black, like hair, like dark brunette, whatever you want to call it. And so his hair changed. Well, it just makes sense that my hair is changing to my mom's side of the family.
If I were you, I'd tell it. Yeah, I'd be like, I'm not Irish, but I did
am.
come from a race of red-haired, blue-eyed giants.
So Scottish. Got it.
No. The red-haired giants were in the U.S. as well.
I know they were. I was just being silly.
Just tell them you may have lost the height, but you didn't lose the girth.
This is actually a mutation. The whole, all of this is a mutation. I'm a mutant.
Did you hear me?
What?
You can tell them you may have lost the height, but you didn't lose the girth.
Hey.
Hey.
Which part of my body? Hey.
Figure that out.
Yeah, right. Join us next time on the Fun Adventures of Boogeyman Radio.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. Maybe next week I'll be better.
Hopefully. God, it's just you can't take them anywhere, right? Just can't have anything nice. Can't do anything nice.
Except that one thing.
Except that one thing. Yeah, that's true.
All right. Good night, guys.
Bye.